Today on the Extreme Channel, we're looking at PCS's quarter-scale Ronin statue from TMNT. That's right, it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you're wondering what's going on with this, it's a really interesting storyline. Now, before we get into that, I gotta say, I was so incredibly wrong about this statue. Maybe the most I've ever been wrong in life. Except when I was young, true story, I thought diarrhea was a drink. Whenever people got sick, they're like, oh, she's gonna have diarrhea. Also, that chick, I swear, she didn't have an Adam's apple on the way back to her place. As the Extreme Channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we're giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Extreme Channel. My name is Mr. X, and I am so incredibly excited. This statue in front of me was released by PCS. I forget the real name. It's Premium Collectible Services or something like that. They've gone through a few name changes over the year. And this is the Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the Ronin story by Kevin Eastman, I believe is the author. So I have a hardback and then I have the original comics all sealed up. Now really quick, before we dive into this and tell you a little bit about the storyline with no spoilers, when this statue was revealed, I had zero interest in it. Now I've owned other Turtle statues in the past. Check out these from Prime One Studio. These are from the movie in the 90s, which I still love to this day. Then I also owned these different statues from the 2018 movies. I think it was 2016, 2018 Michael Bay movies. But growing up, just like many people, I loved the Turtles as they were on the Saturday morning cartoons. Loved the Turtles video game. When you're an 80s and 90s kid, that's kind of very nostalgic for you. So anyway, PCS revealed this statue from Ronin, which is an amazing storyline. I didn't give it a second thought. However, with that being said, recently I went to Gem Mint's house. You can actually check out the video of us hanging right here. And I saw it and I was blown away. Now, I didn't get that detailed of a look at it, but a few days later, it actually came available on Sideshow Seconds. So Sideshow Seconds is a website of Sideshows who distributes PCS pieces. And if the box is damaged, you can get money off. So I got this for $300 off because of a damaged box. And I didn't even hesitate because I loved how it looked in Gem's collection. So now that he's here, I have to say it's even more amazing in person and on my table. Well, clearly that's a spoiler to the review I'm about to do. I am loving this statue. I'm even thinking like statue of the year. That's how much I love it. But we'll dive into this concept, paint, sculpt, all that stuff to see why I think that. Now before we do, as I said, this is from Ronin, so it's a storyline of an alternate Turtles reality. So it's the future, and the Foot Clan actually rules New York City, led by Shredder's grandson. And with that, the three Turts in the back, where you can see the ghosts right here, which we'll talk about, have actually died. The only one still alive is Mikey. So he's going out and kind of avenging his brothers, and he kind of fights with their ghosts, and I'm not going to say anymore. It's definitely worth the read. It's a little bit of a pricier comic nowadays. But like I said, you can get some hardback editions for like 20, 30 bucks off of Amazon. Anyway, so let's dive into the statue. And even if you don't know the storyline, you can still appreciate it a lot. But I think the storyline puts the statue even more over the top. Now, as we dive into the concept, I have to let you know this is offered in two different versions. One without the ghosts, and one with the ghosts. And while they do tell a little bit different story, they're both awesome. But we're going to talk about this one, the deluxe one. So starting with the base, I love this. So first of all, it's kind of a New York City and obviously a New York sewer. So you see some sewage water, or I almost think of it as ooze, kind of a tie back to the Turtles' origins. But the New York City, a destroyed wall, some sewer piping below. So many tie-ins to our beloved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the first thing you see is weapons of his fallen brothers. I think that is absolutely awesome. You don't have to display them. We'll talk more about that in design. And Mikey is in the Ronin outfit. So again, this is kind of his revenge outfit. The Ronin is not just with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a few different storylines that are very similar. But with this, he's going on it's not really a revenge quest, but it kind of is. And Mikey is in a dynamic pose in this costume. Looks like he's jumping up. He's ready to fight. And he is decked out with all their weapons. And there's a bunch of different switch out options we're going to look at, but you can actually display all four of the weapons and even then some other weapons. So I really like that. And his costume's kind of flowing in the wind. And of course you see his brothers behind him. Now they're not the full body. They actually started around the knees or so. and they are rising behind him. And I said this is actually part of the comic, not necessarily this strip. It may be, I have to go back and look, but they are putting their hands on him like, we are with you, brother. We are here to support you. And Mikey is in a very fierce stance. I absolutely love that. He has the hood on. Again, you see the weapons everywhere. This is cool as fuck. I think that's the only words that can describe this. I love this concept. Now, as I said, we'll talk more about it with design. You can remove it. I still think the concept's really cool, but with the ghost and his brothers in the back, I think it's a 5 out of 5 easy. I would probably rate it higher. Now, design. They did some pretty cool stuff. I wish they would have tweaked it a little bit differently. But first of all, like I said, the ghosts are completely separate. So look at the unboxing and assembly, and you'll see how it's actually 2 separate pieces that go together. Since it was on Sideshow Seconds, it's not the original shipper boxes, but they did have the original art boxes on the inside, and nothing was broken, so that's great. Really messy foam, but from PCS, they had substitute straps here too. This is the Ronin box, 2 layers, so if you didn't get the deluxe, this is what you're getting right here. And then the deluxe is right here. Here's the art box, another picture of it, and it has the brothers on the inside, as you can see. Alright, so let's measure him. The ghosts are the widest part, his brothers. So kind of the cloud at the bottom is about 19 inches wide. And with that, it's about 20 inches deep. Without it, it's probably about 12 inches deep. The tallest part of Mikey with the stuff on his back is probably a little over 21 inches. Where the turtles increase the height to 25 inches or so for exact dimensions. Check out Sideshow's website. There's actually a link in the description below on where to buy statues. So what's great about this is there's really no seam lines, and I thought there would be. You saw me attach some of the arms on the turtles, and then this piece right back here, there's a seam line at the back, but from the front you can't even tell. So I'm really impressed by that. Now I said there's different display options. The first and foremost is you have some of the weapons. This is a broken katana, obviously Leonardo. Now you can display this wherever you want. You have a broken bow from Donatello, and then you have a sai from Raphael on the bottom. He also has an extra set of nunchucks that I have hanging on the back, but you could put that wherever you wanted. He has 2 different sets of arms. The first set here, at least the right arm, you can see that it's sleeveless, there's no sleeve, and he has a katana. The other one does have a sleeve, and he's holding a sai. On the left arm, you have one without a sleeve, and it holds this billy club. And I like that because it's kind of a different weapon. That way you can display all the different weapons. Now you could try and shove one of the other weapons in there, but it doesn't work very well. Now the other option on the left arm is this sleeved arm that can actually hold Donatello's bow. And like I said, you can try and get the sai in there if you want, which I had trouble doing, or the nunchucks right here. So very cool display options. I like that you can see all the different weapons. Now I think one thing that would have put it over the top is if you could have had an unhooded Mikey. I think that would have been absolutely fantastic. I love the way the ghosts almost touch him. Now I think they can. I think there's a little bit of settling in how close you put it together. But I like that they're actually a little bit above him, like they're reaching out to support him. So I love the design. Other than an unhooded portrait, I would have liked if you could have interchanged the weapons more easily. So for example, I like the bare arms look, but that means I cannot really have him holding a sai, which I think would have been cool because you can see the katana and the bow in the back. It would have been cool to have him holding the nunchucks and the sai. So while I'm being a little bit nitpicky, I still have to give the design a 5 out of 5. I think it's really impressive the options they gave. If it was just the regular version without his brothers, I think maybe the design would be a 4 out of 5. Now let's jump into the paint and sculpt. You know, so PCS is an interesting company. It's a company who, a long time ago, they would have like 1 out of 5 statues would be really cool. Nowadays, I think they're like 3 out of 5 since they've kind of taken over. So I love the progression of that. My last PCS piece I got was this Pumpkinhead, which I think they did an absolutely amazing job. While I do like the character of Pumpkinhead better, I think this statue is better. In my opinion, this is the best PCS statue I've ever had. So with that being said, let's do some close-ups why it's so good. Let's start with the turtles. So first of all, I love the color they chose. I didn't think I would, but I really do. And I think what I love about it is it almost gives you like a white ghost type effect, but you still have some green, and it almost looks like it's glowing under bright lights, like what you think a spirit would do. And not only that, but look at the sculpt on them. I think they did a phenomenal job. While it's a little bit hard to differentiate some of their armor, like their elbow pads or their belts or anything of that nature, they have a little bit darker green with some brown mixed in to help with that. You can really see it. Look at their shell, their hardened shell. So the fact that there's still great differentiation and it's all very similar colors, I think says a lot. I love the slashes in the back of their shell here. And then this willowing cloud could be a little bit better. I think the colors are great, but has this flame effect. This is exactly what you would think if 4 turtle ghosts appeared behind you. So the swirling effect, the whites they added in there, just really, really take this to the next level. I am impressed a lot. And then even look at the portraits. Super solid, whited out eyes. Like, I don't think this is a deluxe or bust, but this is a wonderful part of the statue. Now on the statue itself, we'll start at the top and go down. So here you have Mikey. I think they did a great job with the turtle-like skin. That's why I wanted to display it. So it gives off that kind of reptilian feel, but it's not scaly. So that's exactly what you want. An undertone on the bottom, much lighter green. I think that was cool. And you can kind of see it transitioning from his mouth to the back. Look at how clean the paint is on the teeth clenching together with his mask. Great texture all over his costume. And then even right here, the pouches, PCS really did a good job. Reminds me of Prime 1 Studio, who's also very good at that. This is all fully sculpted. You see his goggles there. I love the flow of his robes here. Then kind of the leathery feel of his armor. Really this, samurai type Japanese influence. A few different battle scratches. His feet, his toenails look great. I don't have a foot fetish or anything, but for a turtle, not too bad. Some more straps. Again, very clean on the paint, and the sculpt just complements it, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. The weapons, for the most part, look really good. So they are not metal, but they still look metal, and I think that's an integral part of sculpting it. Look at the bandages around the bow here, and then where it's broken. And the wood grains, that's really impressive. Here's the billy club he has. And then even where his weapons are tucked in here, this is fully sculpted, and it looks like it's not. It looks like it's actually a belt that something is looping around. They used a real chain for the nunchucks, and it looks like the handles are actually like wrapped in some type of protective material. I think that's cool. Now the base. The one thing I would give it a little bit of a negative is these bricks have more of a cartoony feel to them. Maybe it's because there's so much mortar in between them. Maybe there's not enough texture on them, but I can easily get past that. I love the piping, not only how it's dented, but the rusted look and the scratches. Still finding white pieces on here from the damaged box. Looks great. The grate that goes into the sewer. And then I love the translucent sewage water or ooze. Like I said, I know it's supposed to be sewage water, but in my mind, kind of this ooze that's around the entire base. some rocks and bricks sunk into it. And where the concrete's all smashed, they did a great job with the texture of the rocks. I think the grate there could be a little bit better. But overall, super impressive piece times 5. Can't say enough good things about this. Paint, absolutely phenomenal. They did a really good job. I love that resin effect. I think the paint is definitely a 5 out of 5. Really clean, really fantastic on every single level. Sculpt on the turtles, I love. I love the outfit. I love the anatomy. The only thing I don't like are the bricks in the back. They have more of that cartoon feel, like I said, where the turtles are more of a little bit of a realistic take. So I would bash them for the sculpt, but it's the bricks. The bricks aren't that important, so I think it's still a 5 out of 5 as well. So let's talk about value. Is this really worth it? So they made 500 of these. Now I'm unclear if there's only 500 of these and how many of these there are, which is actually really strange because the website says an edition size of 1,000, so that just doesn't make sense. We're going to assume they made 500 of these. Now it retailed right around $1,600. If you wanted just Mikey, he was about $900. Now that's a lot of money for a quarter scale statue. It's kind of the standard price with Prime 1 Studio, and here you kind of have multiple characters. You do in fact have multiple characters. I mean, they don't have anything below the knees, but it's almost 4 statues in one. And one of the things that really motivated me towards this is when I saw Jem's setup of the classic turtles from PCS, which I know are too hard to find now, I really wanted them, and this kind of takes care of all that in my opinion. So I think the price is good. I don't think it's great, but I think it's good. If more people knew this storyline, this would be really hard to find. Like I said, you can still get it on Sideshow. Again, there's a link below. If you use the link, I do get a kickback, but I need that because I have a lot of people blackmailing me. I think the value is truly a 4 out of 5. This is a really great statue on so many different levels, and you really get a lot for it. So does this have the X factor? Is it a 5 out of 5 statue? It's not a cumulative score. It's how much do I like it? How much does it wow me? This wows me a lot. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 statue for me. I love it on every single level. I almost wish I had 2, just because I love it that much. That'd be pretty stupid, but I do a lot of stupid things. Let me know. What do you think of this guy? Did you like him before my review? Do you like him more now? Did my review turn you on to him? I am so impressed. This is one you definitely have to see in person. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you guys. You watching doesn't mean shit to me because I have the statue and that's all I care about. I am really dick riding this. Apparently, maybe I have a turd fetish. That'd be gross. I don't know. Anyway, talk to you later. Take care.